Hi, welcome back. Do you reckon you know how to solve this if I gave you this quadratic equation? So you've got 3x squared minus 7x take 6. So let us try factorize this. So because there is a number in front of our x squared term, we need to do one extra step in this before we can solve it. So what we need to do is multiply whatever's in front of our x squared by that term. So 3 times 6 is 18. Then I like to write out all the factors of 18. So you have 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, 4 doesn't go, 5 doesn't go, 6 times 3 we've got to repeat. So there are all my factors of 18. Out of those, now we need to select the ones that would add together to give me negative 7. And the only ones that could give me 7 are going to be these two. And they need to add together to give me negative 7. So it would be negative 9 plus 2, right? So let's put the negative 9 plus 2 add together to give me negative 7. And they have to multiply together to give me negative 18. So remember, 3 times negative 6 is negative 18, which they do. Positive 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. So we know we've got the correct factors. Now what we need to do is basically rewrite this quadratic equation, but instead of this negative 7x, we're going to write these two factors. So let's do that. So we still have 3x squared, and instead of negative 7x, we need to write these two factors. So we're going to write, and it doesn't matter what order you do them in. So the first one, so positive 2x, and then the second one, minus 9x. And then this is what a lot of people forget. Don't forget about this fella. This 6 still is present, right? So we still have 6, take 6. So all we've done is, instead of writing my next 7x, I've written out these two factors. And you could check, positive 2x take 9x is negative 7x. So we know this is true. Okay, we're nearly there. Now what we need to do is just factorize this part. And the only thing that's common to both of those is x. And we're left with 3x plus 2. Remember, if you multiply that by that, you get your 3x squared. And if you multiply that by that, you get your 2x. What about if you factorize the second part? So you've got minus 9x take 6. So hopefully you can see negative 3 is a factor. And you will be left with 3x, because minus 9x divided by negative 3 is 3x minus, so be careful of the signs over here. This would be a plus 2, because when you multiply that by that, you get that negative 9x. When you multiply that by that, a negative times a positive gives me that negative 6. What we're also trying to do is over here, we're trying to make these two the same, because then we could factorize that out. So that's what you could potentially do is here. You could just rewrite that factor, 3x plus 2, and figure out what needs to go here in order to make that. Beautiful. And that leads us to our next step. We could take out 3x plus 2 as a factor. So if I remain 3x plus 2 as a factor, all you're left with is x minus 3. And that's our quadratic factorized, and this equals to 0. And if we've got two factors that equal to 0, that must mean that one of them has to equal to 0 using the null factor. So either 3x plus 2 equals to 0, or x minus 3 equals to 0. And we could rearrange this, so we're going to bring the 2 across. So 3x equals negative 2, and then divide both sides by 3. So x equals negative 2 on 3, or we could just rearrange this, bring that negative 3 across, x equals 2, 3. Boom. So that's how you factorize and solve a quadratic like that. Well done if you got this correct. Let me know in the comment section if you got this correct or if you were able to follow through. Thank you for watching and see you next time.